Apparently, a lot of people used to eat glue when they were younger, which I think is pretty disgusting. For me personally, I used to play with my poo instead, sort of like Play-Doh, because we couldn't afford to buy the real Play-Doh. Anyways, the other day I came across a strange criminal case where it appeared that a couple of grown adults also like to play with their poo and would even smear it across their entire house where they were currently raising their young children. Parents panic when cops discover their feces-covered house of horrors. Oh, spooky, my shimbers are tivering.
Do you see that window right there? You see how it's kind of like hard to see through? It's kind of like got stuff smeared on it.
They're just in there by themselves, which is probably why they're smearing poop on the wall. But in this kind of situation is absolutely astronomically unacceptable.
Why is she so mad to get her house like seized, like her house of poo seized? Is it really that much of like a national treasure to her?
No, they're gonna clean my house. I won't have any more poo left smeared on the wall.
She probably spent the last 3 years like gradually building up like layer by layer of like poo on the wall, and it's probably caked on like terracotta. It's what do you call it? It's like clay. It's sort of like this. She was probably making an army of terracotta warriors using her poo. You know what? I can sort of imagine like the texture of like the dried up poo would probably be like as hard as like roof tiles.
When officers with the Oklahoma City Police Department show up at this door on September 12, 2024, they have no idea what horrors they will encounter inside. The man they're talking to is 24-year-old Dakota Dodd, and he's now learning that the cops are here to check on his stepchildren. His first move is to grab some shorts and call his wife, who is none too happy about the news.
Apparently, we have a wellness check. What?
Okay, yeah. So your kids are upstairs, you said?
Kids are upstairs. We've been trying to paint the rooms because they keep smearing crap on the walls.
Door. We need to go. There's a what? Cops at the door. Apparently, kids are upstairs.
Okay, so we're just here to make sure the kids are okay.
Yeah, they're perfectly okay. I can go get them.
Bro, they're not perfectly okay. This is their house. This is the place where they live. Okay, their kids are perfectly fine. This is where they live. Is this normal? Does anyone's house look like this normally? There's so much trash on the floor, toys everywhere. This is where they sleep. This is the crib. This is where the babies sleep. And there's just a bunch of clothes all there. Okay, maybe instead of a mattress, you just put clothes and toys there so you don't have to buy a mattress. But he said the kids keep smearing crap on the walls. But okay, I wonder who the person smearing it on the walls is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the parents doing it, but then they're just blaming the kids for smearing the crap on the walls.
Yeah, they're perfectly okay. I can go get them down.
Can I come with you?
Yeah.
What's kid?
That's around we were hurt.
Ooh, okay, the stairs, bro. It sounds like there's glass on the stairs. Imagine the kids running up and down the stairs. They just get their feet cut by all the glass. Okay, how does this even happen?
But we've been trying to keep the room safe. Hey boys, come on.
Hi, guys. What are you doing? Come downstairs for me, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the shower. But they keep putting on the walls.
So,
We've been trying to keep painted up and everything.
okay.
Two boys, 3 and 4 respectively, emerge from this foreboding room without a stitch of clothing. The officer notes in her report that both kids are extremely dirty and covered in feces.
They're just in there by themselves, which is probably why they're
We have
smearing poop on the wall.
we have a camera right there. We're always checking up on them.
Okay.
We'll make sure they eat 3-story meals a day.
Yeah.
As Dakota's wife Aubriana panics on the phone downstairs, the officer delivers the understatement of the morning.
You guys like kind of in over your head, maybe?
I mean, I work at nights.
Okay.
The wife is taking care of the boys, making sure.
Where's she at?
She's currently getting her glasses.
Okay, so I think I understand what is happening. Okay, so this is like child neglect. I think this is like a neglect case. Because why would you need to have a camera monitoring your kids when you're literally like in the same house? You could just go upstairs, check on the kids. And then he says, we check on the kids to make sure they eat 3 square meals a day. Bro, like, is this a prison? Like, are you trying to, okay, why don't you just feed them the meals? Why don't you just eat like a normal family? Just you go at the dinner table downstairs, you eat together.
Come on back downstairs for me.
Yeah, it's good. We've been trying to get painted
paint it. Okay, so instead of cleaning it, you're just gonna paint over it. That's not gonna get rid of it. It's just gonna create a layer. You're just gonna have a layer of poo, a layer of paint, and then the kids are gonna smear more poo on it, and then you're gonna put some more paint on it. So you're gonna have a nice sandwich. It's gonna be poo, paint, poo, paint, poo, paint. And then I assume they're just gonna get their teeth. They're just gonna go, and then they're gonna scrape everything off the wall and just eat it. They're gonna eat the poo and the paint sandwich.
And we've been trying to use a rug doctor because they keep trying to get them potty trained.
How long have they been in that room?
6 years.
Taking a nap.
Where are they supposed to be napping at? They're not a bed in here.
They tore it apart yesterday. The autistic one likes to tear apart their beds. And so we had to throw them both out. My brother just sent me money. I'm actually gonna be, once my wife gets home, buy some beds.
In her report, the officer notes that the door frame to the room is torn up from the inside, suggesting that the boys had
Trying to
possibly
escape.
attempted to claw
Yeah.
their way out.
They're trapped in there.
That detail, combined with a smell that police describe as overwhelming, may explain the look on her face when she returns downstairs.
Yeah, this one they keep tearing up the mattresses.
Will Lieutenant start this back, please?
Do we have some pants or something we can put on them?
Yeah, I got it.
You have a...
Let me go get my glasses. I can't really see.
As the officers try to come to terms with what they're seeing, Dakota struggles to find the children's clothing before finally asking his wife for help.
What?
Hey, baby, where's the kids' clothes?
How long have these kids just not had clothes? Do they go to school? Wait, they're 3 and 4 years old. Shouldn't they be going to kindergarten? Is that what age you go to kindergarten, or do they just like chill at home doing nothing?
Hey, baby, where's the kids' clothes?
You home in a few.
That's not the answer I need.
It takes Dakota 4 solid minutes to find clothing that the police would later describe as very large for the children. But as he dresses the kids, his wife doesn't seem to approve.
What's going on?
I'm dressed.
Why?
I just told you why.
Because they're butt naked and they need some clothes on.
Okay.
In her report, one of the officers notes that when she opened a downstairs closet, she was immediately covered in cockroaches. Another officer observes the large amount of flies in the home. It's clear at this point that the officers have seen enough.
All right. How many of you outside with my partner, okay?
Do you have any weapons or anything on you?
No, just my phone.
Can you turn around?
And just poo. He just has a bag of poo in his back pocket. He's just gonna fling it at the police. It's gonna go into the police's eyes, and then like while the police is blinded, he's just gonna bolt. He's just gonna run away. Like there is no excuse in this situation. How is this guy gonna get his way out of this? How is he gonna waffle his way out of this? So if I was in this situation and I needed to come up with an excuse, okay. So what options do you have? You can say maybe the door got locked. The door locked itself on the kids in that room, and then somehow the clothes magically disappeared, and then the poo magically got onto the wall. Yeah, there's really no excuse.
I'm placing you under arrest for child endangerment and neglect, sir.
What? What?
Yeah.
He's surprised.
You're their father, right?
I'm their stepdad.
You're their stepdad. Well, you're the one that's responsible right now for their welfare and everything, right?
Yes, I'm supposed to be taking a nap.
Huh?
It was supposed to be taking a nap.
They were supposed to be taking a nap?
Yes.
In a room that's covered in feces with no furniture?
I already
Okay, well, I'm not questioning you or anything like that right now.
told you the other time.
You have the right to remain silent. We'll read you your rights.
Dakota has one remaining question, but the officer has more immediate concerns.
You called on us.
Huh?
You called on me.
The brother.
Oh, sorry, I'm
The brother.
still trying to
I think it was
hold
the
back
brother.
vomit in the back of my throat.
In the meantime, Dakota's wife Aubriana arrives at the house with their 11-month-old daughter.
Whoa, wait, so they have a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and an 11-month-old daughter. How long has this poo been going on for? Was the daughter birthed in the house of poo? Why would they just keep, spawning more children if they have this poo issue?
Dakota's wife Aubriana arrives at the house with their 11-month-old daughter and her mother in tow. And if she was anxious over the phone, the police quickly let her know she was right to be worried.
Hello?
Hi, Mom.
This your youngest baby?
Yes.
Okay. So here's where we're at. The fact that kids live in this kind of situation is absolutely
Step right outside.
astronomically unacceptable. So, outside.
I close the door so the cat doesn't get out.
I don't care about the cat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better off outside.
Mount told us about the green.
Come here. Those are your babies.
I don't.
Those are your babies.
What's gonna happen now?
Right now, DHS is on the way. Come on. Do not cry to me.
I'm not crying. I'm crying for my damn children.
I literally couldn't even stand in that room.
I've been telling him to clean it. I've tried.
Wow, okay, just blame the husband. Blame the husband. It's always men's fault. Men are evil. If you're a man, you are evil. But she says, I'm crying for the children, bro. Like, who put the children in that situation? First of all, you birthed the children. You chose. Actually, okay, maybe you didn't choose to birth them, but you raised them. You raised them in this household. It's not like the stepdad specifically trained the children to smear poo all on the walls. She has no right to cry for the babies. Like the baby, she can't cry for the babies, and she can't even cry for herself. That she has no right to cry.
I literally couldn't even stand in that room.
I've been telling him to clean it. I've tried. Mommy!
What?
Screaming for her ain't gonna do you no good right now.
Oh,
As
she's
the police
screaming
get-
for her mom. Okay, I thought she was like I thought there was like some witchcraft going on. Like I thought she like her soul like swapped with the child's soul, and then she thought she was the child, and then she was like screaming for her mom. And so I thought there was like some sort of like demonic possession. Okay, like in that situation, like if you're trying to arrest them, and then she starts going like some witchcraft stuff. Okay, you just leave and you come back tomorrow, arrest them. But I think she was just crying out to her mom. I think she brought her actual like the grandma to like the house.
As the police gather her children outside the home to examine and talk to them, Aubriana proceeds to ignore this advice.
Okay, mom is out here, or grandma.
Sitting in another patrol car, her husband seems baffled by his arrest.
I just got home.
Can you at least tell me what's gonna happen? Or what? Who called it in? Something, please.
Why do they need to know who called it in? I swear it's probably a family member or a brother. Probably the mom. You know, the mom probably did it.
Don't you dare touch my son's stuff.
Don't you dare touch my son's stuff. No, stop cleaning the poo off the walls. I spent years delicately layering every single layer like terracotta. No! Shut up. Just shut up. Shut the hell up.
Has been updated.
What?
Your phone has been updated.
Your phone has been updated. Who updated the phone? What? Is that normal?
Can I at least give him one last hug before I leave?
Don't even talk to me right now.
The officer's apparent disgust is reflected in her report, where she describes the way the carpet in the boys' room crunched as she walked, and was completely hard with dried feces and other unknown filth. It's only one of many shocking details that will emerge about this home, details that the officers share with those closest to the couple.
Can I ask you a question? You're her mom? You're her mom? Have you ever, like, how often do you go inside their apartment?
Usually about once a week or so. I don't usually very often. I work 2 jobs, so.
Do you see that window right there? You see how it's kind of like hard to see through?
Okay.
It's kind of like got stuff smeared on it. You know that that's human. That room is completely caked in it. Not to mention the entire house is absolutely filthy and disgusting. Just horrendous. But those kids were up in that room, locked in that room, taking a nap. No furniture.
She's not surprised at all. She is not surprised at all. She's not reacting in any way. So she must have known this whole time, and she did nothing about it. She is just as guilty as the rest of them. She should have stepped in and said something. Okay, that is interesting.
They're in the middle of potty training.
Look, there is no excuse. There's no excuse for this. This is a felony crime what's occurring right now.
He was supposed to be cleaning the bone at the home.
Well, he wasn't.
In their respective police cars, Dakota and Aubriana express indignation and defiance.
What does that word even mean?
You can't take my wife. You can't take my wife.
You can't take my wife.
They're fat. They're taking care of it.
You can't take my wife.
I told him to clean.
One
Bro,
officer,
the difference in their reactions, where so like the husband wants to protect the wife, like you can't take my wife, meow meow meow, and then the wife just wants to kill the husband. Okay, interesting dynamic between the two.
One officer writes that the couple's 11-month-old daughter had what appeared to be cockroach droppings in the creases of her hips and a diaper in dire need of changing. The police eventually removed the young parents from handcuffs and obtained permission to search, but Dakota's cooperation soon hits a snag.
Would you also be willing to sign a electronic search waiver for any electronics we discover along the process, cell phones, computers, things like that, tablets?
I mean, like,
Huh?
as in for what?
As in like cell phones, computers, security devices.
I suppose, but there's not really gonna be anything on them.
So, you do have a right to refuse. Here, I'll give you a minute to think about it while she signs.
I thank you.
When she hears about her husband's reluctance, Aubriana has some choice words.
Okay. Dakota doesn't seem like he wants to sign the electronic search waiver.
That's because he got to hide on there.
What does he got to hide?
Lying, cheating bastard.
What?
He's just a lying, cheating bastard.
Well, why are you with him?
Because I haven't had the money yet to move out.
You can always, it's free to move out.
Once again left on their own, Dakota and Aubriana criticize the way the police are treating the children while insisting on their own innocence.
No. Why are you leaving my kid on the road? Why the are you asking questions? Why the are you trying to train? What are you doing?
I've never been abused. Ever.
According to the police report, the two boys appeared to be in shock as they looked around outside, touching the grass and trees as if they didn't know what they were.
Bro, these guys need to touch grass. They've never touched grass. They've literally never touched grass. Okay, I shouldn't be laughing at it, but like, they need to touch grass. They actually, I need to touch grass as well, but they also need to touch grass. So they literally haven't been let outside for the first 4 years of their lives. But then this guy's the stepfather. So who's the actual father? Like, who is the father that birthed these? Because maybe the reason why the father left was because the wife was crazy. Maybe this is the wife's fault. Maybe the wife is the crazy one. Or maybe it could have been like a nut and run type beat, and then the father just left.
Touching the grass and trees as if they didn't know what they were. The report goes on to state that both boys seemed developmentally delayed and were unable to tell the officers their names or ages. In their separate police cars, Dakota and Aubriana do not seem ready to accept responsibility.
Actually, you know what? You know what I was sort of thinking, okay? This could be, okay, this is a wild, okay, this is like a shot from like the moon. But my theory is that the wife's like husband, the person who birthed these children was actually the wife's brother. So the wife married her brother, and that's why we have some like mental what is it called, like mental development issues, because I think that's like a common thing when you it's okay, I don't know whether I can say the word on YouTube. INCEST. I think that might have happened. So that's why the husband, the brother is gone. And then that's why the children are like mentally like delayed development in their brain, you know?
In their separate police cars, Dakota and Aubriana do not seem ready to accept responsibility.
Just stop being so nosy. They know nothing of us.
They know nothing of us. Right.
I know who it was.
I know who it was.
Stupid Mexican lady.
The Mexican lady. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. Wait, all Aubrey asked was to see her brother? The husband. The husband.
All Aubrey asked was to see her brother, and you wouldn't even do that.
Oh, shut up. This got a new message. No one gives
When the two are questioned separately, they give conflicting stories. While Aubriana says that the two boys would spend a maximum of 2 hours a day in the upstairs room, Dakota tells investigators that they're locked in the room for at least 12 hours a day and overnight to, quote, keep the kids safe due to the neighborhood. Hours later, the couple is reunited at the jail for processing, where they will be booked on 3 charges each of felony child neglect. Both 22-year-old Aubriana Freeman and 24-year-old...
Wait, this person is 22 years old? She's younger than me. What? How do these people exist? This could have been me. I could have been in this situation. If I was raised in like the wrong crowd and everything, I could have ended up like this. That is scary to think about. That could have been me.
Both 22-year-old Aubriana Freeman and 24-year-old Dakota Dodd pled not guilty to the charges and are currently out on bond as their case proceeds. According to the police report, the children were checked out at a local hospital and at least temporarily taken into DHS custody. In his interview with investigators, Dakota acknowledged that the kids would possibly be better off there.
It's evident from the grandma's disposition that this abuse is generational. These people were likely raised the same way. You know what? That is probably 100% true. It's sort of like a family heirloom or like family tradition passed down from generation to generation. It's sort of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but instead of bending air, they just bend over, poo on the ground, pick it up with their hands, and just smear it all over the wall.